If you fail to file your tax return by the due date or an extended due date, the IRS can impose several penalties, including late filing penalty. This penalty is charged when you file your tax return after the due date, usually April 15th, unless it falls on a weekend or holiday. The penalty is usually 5% of the unpaid tax for each month or part of a month the return is late, up to a maximum of 25%. For example, if your tax return is due on April 15th and you file it on May 1st with an unpaid tax liability of $5,000, you'll owe a late filing penalty of $250, $5,000 by 5% x 1 month. If your return is more than 60 days late, the minimum penalty is the smaller of $435 or 100% of the unpaid tax. This means that even if you don't owe any tax, you could still be subject to a penalty of $435 for filing your return more than 60 days late. Late payment penalty. If you don't pay all the tax you owe by the due date, again, usually April 15th, you'll be subject to a late payment penalty of 0.5% of the unpaid tax for each month or part of a month that the tax remains unpaid, up to a maximum of 25%. For example, if you owe $5,000 in taxes and don't pay it until August 1st, you'll owe a late payment penalty of $125, $5,000 by 0.5% by 3 months. Interest. In addition to penalties, the IRS also charges interest on any unpaid taxes. The interest rate is determined quarterly and is the federal short-term rate plus 3%. The interest rate can change from quarter to quarter, but it is currently 3% per year. Accuracy-related penalty. If you make a mistake on your tax return that results in an underpayment of tax, the IRS may also impose an accuracy-related penalty. This penalty is usually 20% of the understatement of tax. For example, if you owe $10,000 in taxes but only report $8,000 on your tax return due to an error, you could be subject to an accuracy-related penalty of $400, $2,000 x 20%. It's important to note that the penalties and interest can add up quickly, so it's always best to file your tax return on time, even if you can't pay all the tax you owe. If you can't pay all the tax you owe, you should still file your return and pay as much as you can to minimize the penalties and interest.